Good morning. We have the pleasure to be at the School University of Optometry in Montreal. And in front of me is Professor Jocelyn Faubert, who is the recipient of a chair of research sponsored by Essilor. So, Jocelyn Faubert, when did you start this original research?
Well, thank you very much for being here and having this discussion. I started work as a professor here in 1991, and in the mid-90s was very interested in looking at the impact of ophthalmic distortions and geometric distortions on human performance. We started mostly on pattern vision, form vision, and then started looking at observing the impact of dynamic distortions on human behavior. And this really started a whole line of research for many years.
Jocelyn, is your research only fundamental or applied?
Well, that's a very interesting question because the base of the research is fundamental. I mean, we ask initially fundamental questions. The way we pose the questions in regards to ophthalmic distortions, for instance, is looking at the impact of visual perturbations on human behaviors. So, visual perturbations impacts on decision-making processes, how we appreciate what we see, the dynamic scenes, but also has an impact on posture and motor control. So in that sense, what we do is we circumscribe the problems in the context of fundamental research, but then we look at how it impacts human behavior in real life or in real life situations. And we do this by using immersive virtual reality environments.
We all know that you started on your own. How big is your team now?
Well, the team is pretty big. It's almost 30 people in the laboratory now. With the evolution of the questions and the complexity of the problems that were sort of dealt with in the context of the research chair, the group became very and truly interdisciplinary. So now we have people from obviously optometry, but also experimental psychology, physics, biomedical engineering, computer science, kinesiology. So the team is truly interdisciplinary, and this is really a richness of the laboratory now, of the research chair. It's the fact that we have all these different reflections and different points of views, and it really creates a synergy that is very powerful to answer the questions we're interested in.
As we are a member of the industry, are your work directly used by ourselves, for example?
Yes, the work over the years has influenced very much the designs that the industry has implemented on the market. First, by considering some basic issues of how the brain deals with visual information, and some of the calculations, for instance, in regards to the lens design, were influenced by these notions. So that's the first way to do it. The second way is to look at individual differences in performance. Now, design technology and surfacing technology in the industry has evolved tremendously in the past years, in recent years specifically, and this has opened up immense possibilities, but at the same time complexifies or makes the problem a little more complex. In the end, what you want is to be able to have the lens, the perfect lens for each person. And this is a huge challenge, but it's something that we think is attainable. But we need markers. We need a way to identify those differences. And this is what we sort of supply to the industry, a way or different ways to characterize different behaviors or different outcomes with people.
Now, a researcher is always interested in the future. So what is your next challenge?
Well, there are several challenges. The first, of course, we still want to answer many of the questions that are unanswered in regards to how the brain deals with visual perturbations and distortions. But one of the things that I'm particularly concerned about at the stage that I am now is to make sure that there is a follow-through or follow-up in the team or a large team that we've built. I want to make sure that something stays at the university with all the investments that were made both from the government and from the private industry. We have a critical mass of people, a critical mass of knowledge, And I think that this is something that should be able to keep contributing for many, many more years. So we want to find a structure to make sure that this will stay. So that's certainly one of my main challenges now.
Well, I think it's a beautiful challenge. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.